Congratulations, Roger.
Thank you.
There seemed to be a lot of emotion on the court, really, from both of you after the title was there. Talk about that a little bit and your feelings.
Yeah, I mean, look, sports is emotional. So when you win or when you lose, sometimes it's stronger than you. I like to see it. I think fans like to see it too. Seeing that players actually care a lot about winning and losing. So, yet at the same time, I think Stan can be very proud of his efforts here and the start to the year and tournament that he played here was great for him. He's always struggled in the past in the desert. So, and then for me, you know, sort of the dream run continues, the fairy tale of the comeback that I've already shown in Australia. Again, I'm maybe not as surprised as I was in Australia, but still, this comes as a big surprise to me, nevertheless, to win here again and beating the players that I did, the way I did. I mean, couldn't be more happy. It's an absolute huge start to the year for me, and yeah, last year I didn't win any titles. I don't even think I was in any finals, except maybe Brisbane last year. So the change is dramatic, and feels great.
Roger, let's clear this up. Roger, let's clear this up. Were you really laughing when Stan was crying at the presentation days?
Well, I was trying to actually cheer him up. He knows that. I was trying, when he was looking at me, not to give him the sad face. I was trying to actually say, look at him going like, "You'll be fine," and give him a laugh, saying like maybe he gets his mind off it. And I guess I achieved that, you know.
Just to follow up to that, is that the first time ever in your life you have ever been called an asshole?
Are you joking? No, many times before. So that's why I take that as a compliment, you know. Yeah, there's not always cameras around, so I get called that sometimes, quite often actually.
You want to name any names?
On the court, it's the first time, but it felt good.
So Roger, going back to Australia briefly, Ivan was like a kid when you won that, and he won here as well against Andy Roddick. So going into today, what did he offer you as advice?
Well, it was his birthday too, so it was nice for him on many levels. I think that I won today because once before I've played him on his birthday here, and I beat him, and then he had to stay out there. I presented him with the cake. You know, maybe not the most fun birthday at the end of the day, but you know, we go way back and we're good friends. So it's the case with Tommy Haas as well. So for us to stand on court with Tommy as well was very special, I think. Yeah, and what was he telling me? You know, he was just reminding me of what I've done well and not so well for the tournament, and what I did well against Stan and not so well maybe in Melbourne. So that was basically it. It's fairly simple. I didn't have to change my game around that much from previous matches, which I think helped me going into the finals, because sometimes you have to really, you know, adjust a lot depending on who you play. And then, of course, I also did speak to Severin, because he knows Stan extremely well before the match, just to hear what, if anything, he had to add. And he always has some good points that, you know, I tend to forget, or, you know. So yeah, I think all of that, that what they told me actually worked out very well today.
Congrats, Roger. Such an extraordinary achievement. A tough question, but could you talk about your own achievement and where does it come from? Is it from your basic athleticism and skill set there, for your commitment to the game, your commitment to the physical side? Could you just talk about the building blocks of your own career and your greatness?
Yeah, I mean, look, my biggest weakness was to be able to focus every single week and have the same drive for the 25, 30 tournaments I used to play. It's natural that you will favor certain surfaces over another, or certain continents over another, and I've gotten to learn how to just block that out and just enjoy every week that I play now. Okay, I also play less, which helps. So when I do play, I'm very excited. I've gotten to love the time away from the tournaments as well. May that be vacation or may that be, training. I understand why I do it, because every time I do come out of it, I feel the benefit of it, at least for a while at least. So I can be very thankful to the team that I've had around me for so many years now, that have sort of guided me in the right direction, have made it easy for me to work hard. I think at the end of the day, it's not an easy thing to do, but when you have the right team in the right place with the right people, it actually ends up being a lot of fun. So and I guess I just turned the corner at the right time. Not that things were slipping away from me, but people were wondering where results were at, back in 2002 when I broke into the top 10 and wasn't really making deep runs at slam level. So I think it came at the right time for me to win Wimbledon. It wasn't too early, it wasn't too late. It was perfect. So and the rest from there was history, really.
Roger, I know it's great to win, but you were coming back, you had a long view on the season. Is it any kind of a mental challenge now that you've had such great success coming back to go forward the rest of the year now?
Yeah, I mean, I think I felt that in Dubai. And when I sat in the locker room after the Donskoy match, I'm sorry, I don't see you. No, so Severin told me maybe this is the best thing that can happen for you, looking forward to Indian Wells in Miami, because you really need some time away, from some more time off, because I just wasn't 100% prepared, unfortunately, because of the injury that I was carrying after Melbourne. I was still tired, I was lacking energy. I tried to explain it in the press conference, but it was difficult because the court was there, the press was here, and the shower was on the other side. So, but I tried to make a good point, just that Donskoy played great, and I really struggled. And when I came here, what I promised myself is that I was going to play with the right energy. And it's not always Grand Slam finals. It always starts at zero. You have to get yourself up for the first rounds. Sometimes in Dubai I finish at, midnight. It's not so simple sometimes, when you lose that second set, somehow to just, stay super positive and super happy after just losing that set where you should have never have. Yeah, and then I got here and I felt right away good, about how I played in that first round. The excitement, the energy, everything was clicking. So from that standpoint, I was very happy there. And then in November, December, when I realized things were going well, and we had a meeting about what are the goals for the season in terms of rankings. It's really super secondary, but I wanted to set, or we wanted to set some goals for the season, and the goal was to be top 8 by after Wimbledon, because if I would have lost early in Australia, I would have dropped to 35 in the world. So it was a good approach, I thought, because it gave me time to get there, and so I'm there much faster. Like you say, it's I don't want to say it's a problem at all. No, it's great, but you definitely have to reassess maybe your goals now and see where do you go from here, because this was not part of the plan to win Australia and the Indian Wells, I can tell you that. So I think now it's really important for me to rest up maximum. I hope I can play as late as possible going to Miami, and then really, like I said before, I'll make the plan for the remainder of the season after, especially for the clay after Miami, and then see also what the goals are, because the goals are clearly changing after this stream start.
Just to sort of extend that a little further, at this stage in the comeback, do you think that you have physically the power to do what you've done this week, to take that to Miami and back it up? Do you have an action in your legs? I mean,
look, confidence does wonders sometimes, in the sense that you just play. You don't think about it. You don't know how tired you are until all of a sudden it's all too much. So I think I'm going to be fine on that front, just because I'm just feeling too good on the court and I'm having too much fun. Winning creates a lot of good energy. But I know how hard it is to win back-to-back Indian Wells and Miami titles. So that's why, again, I sort of go to Miami knowing like it's going to be really difficult, and I don't know the draw yet. And as we know in Masters 1000s, the draws are brutal early on already. So there's no like warming up and playing qualifiers ranked, 250 sometimes, which even they are not easy to beat sometimes on any given day, and especially best of 3 sets. Margins are small. So, and then Miami's going to be different. We'll see. It's going to be humid. It's going to be windy. It's going to be day sessions, night sessions, all that stuff. So, yeah, and I'll just try to stay healthy, and this time around I'm not sick like last year in Miami. So, but definitely I think rest right now is the absolute top priority for the next 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, could you, excuse me, could you please give us a little bit of a window into what your day is like before you actually emerge from the tunnel onto the court on a finals day? For instance, at what time do you come to the site, and what are you doing during the match before, given that it's a not before and you have no idea how long it may last?
Yeah, I mean, I try to finish my warm-up usually 2 to 2.5 hours before my match. So I was calculating that I would walk on at 1, because that's the earliest that it can happen. If it goes longer, well, you just wait around, watch the match. And I went for some more food just to not be starving in case my match also went 3 hours, And then in the morning when I wake up, usually I just have my breakfast and stretch my body and do some sort of core exercises. So that's all part of the warm-up these days. I never used to do all that stuff. I can't believe what I'm doing, but I'm doing it just because I do feel better in the process. Yeah, and then tape my ankles probably an hour before the match, warm up, and then I'm ready to go.
Just to follow up on that, I mean, were you put out in any way by the fact that the women's match lasted 3 hours?
No. You have to understand how many times we've been waiting in our career. That's part of our life, really, waiting for matches to end. So this was actually really, really easy today.
You English? I was wondering, how are you going to balance your tennis career and your singing career?
It's going to be really difficult, I think, because I've heard really good feedback. I'm getting so many offers now, so that's why I'm not sure if I can actually keep on playing as much as I was playing. And after Miami, I really have to reassess my goals, not just as a tennis player, but also as a singer now. And then I have to align that with Grigor and Tommy. It's going to be quite difficult, but I'll let you know if you need to know what our schedule is, our tour. I'll create T-shirts with where we're going to be performing. I'm kidding.
You have to ask Yannick Noah for advice now.
Well, yeah. So he knows, yeah, exactly.
Lastly?
Roger, concerning schedule and balance, so you mentioned missing your son's birthday. And I'm wondering now, with the kids and your priorities in life, does that make you more focused when you come out here because it's more meaningful that time maybe is, competing with giving your food?
The end was what to the question?
That, your time on court, right? There's a balance between time with your family, time on the court, and does it make you more focused now because it's almost even more precious time?
Yeah, I mean, look, because I think it's simple. When you play less events, the events become more important overall. When you play more, you can go into them just saying, okay, let's see what happens, and I think a lot of players that's why they play more events, because they can play with less pressure. So I clearly play with more pressure because I play fewer events, and that's why I think the balance between playing and not playing is really important for me, because at the events I need to be somewhat serious, about the tournament. We flew around the globe, beat a 12-hour jet lag with the kids, and we tried to get over that as quick as possible. Yet I tried to be a good dad and good husband and tried to figure all that part out as much as I can, so the days don't finish too late for me. I unfortunately have to do massage sometimes during the day, which I don't enjoy doing, because then that takes time away from spending time with the kids. Energy, I have to manage that as well, but everybody knows what I'm going through. Even the girls understand, that I sometimes have to sleep well at night. I can't be woken up every morning, like that was almost the case. So, no, it's great fun, and that's why scheduling is not just what my goals are as a tennis player, but also so I can align it with Mirka and my kids that I know. I'm not asking too much from them as well. And that's why after after Miami, actually, the rest of the year is actually fairly easy when it comes to time change. It's really the first 3-4 months which are kind of tough with Australia, back and forth, and Dubai, and then here. The rest is actually fairly easy. It's only just once to the East Coast, and that's it, and then Shanghai. But I do that usually by myself.
Very last, Alex.
Just one little thought. If Stan promises never to call you a rude name on court again, will you allow him to join the one-handed backhand boys?
No. He doesn't need to change his tone. He's all good. He might just have to change his tone in the singing room, because I don't know his singing level yet. But he's totally invited. It's the one-handed backhand boys, so they're all welcome. It's with the double-handers that we have to go through the whole process of discussing who's allowed and who's not allowed in. But the one-handers are there all, keeping it alive, really.
Thanks very much.
All right, thank you, guys. Yeah.